One thing I love about Mew is his care, too. Because in past relationships, I was always the one taking care of others. When I met someone who cares a lot about me, it makes him even more lovable. I remember when we worked together, he would always ask how I was doing, if I was stressed. Like when I went to study for my master's in New York, I was stressed because I had to be alone, adapt to many things, and study real estate and finance, which were completely new subjects for me. But since Mew had also completed his master's in industrial engineering from Kuala Lumpur University's Faculty of Engineering, he understood how hard it was. So he kept encouraging me, saying that I didn't have to be perfect at everything, just good enough and happy. Are you a perfectionist? I just think I have to do my best. Perfectionist is a term I've been stuck with since childhood because I blamed myself for my parents' divorce, thinking they argued because of me. Since they separated, I've been pressuring myself, studying hard, and at work, I want to please everyone. You could say I'm a people pleaser, which gets tiring as you grow up because your expectations often don't match reality. And because I expect perfection, I tend to predict and set expectations beforehand. As I grew up, I realized that sometimes your expectations and reality don't align. Because I expected perfection, I would anticipate too much, and if I thought I couldn't do something perfectly, I would procrastinate. But since being with Mew, these issues have started to fade away. Because Mew is practical, he does things step by step. Having him around has taught me to be more efficient. Before, I was only focused on the outcome, whether it was good or not daring to start. But Mew would say there's no such thing as perfect, and what might seem perfect to us might not be to others. So, don't focus too much on perfection, it's better to make things happen and succeed. So, what has changed significantly, and what I dare to do now, is business. There are two parts, my family's business and the one we're partners in. The first is a project related to a beauty clinic and skincare that will take shape this year, along with the We Are Young Cafe opening at the end of this February. Because there are factors like deadlines, labor costs, and time, everything must actually happen, we can't wait until we're ready. And there's something I haven't done yet, which is posting travel photos on IG, laughs. I want to edit the photos nicely, but I never have the time. So, I haven't posted any travel photos for 2 years, there are about 10 trips pending. Meanwhile, Mew edits quickly and posts right away. I don't know when Mew's family knew about us either, but there was one time when I was arguing intensely with Mew on the phone. Mew had the speakerphone on, and I heard his mother's voice saying, "Talk nicely, kids, lovers argue sometimes." I was shocked, like, oh, does she know? So I responded, "Hello, Mom," laughs. That was the first time I talked to my partner's mom while we were arguing. Mew. For me, it might not align with Tul's view because I've never felt unsure about our families. I think both our families are very welcoming. Recently, we went on a trip to Chiang Mai with Tul's dad, who was very sweet. So, I want Tul to feel confident in both our families. Now, we're trying to get closer by having meals at each other's homes, traveling abroad together, and I think there will be more trips. I believe this is a very healthy relationship for us and our families. Society might have an image that when introducing a partner, you might need to inform your family that they're a man, but in reality, it's not like that. It might be as simple as bringing them home for dinner and that's it. Sometimes, everyone just understands without any discussion. Whether they are ready to accept it or not depends on what follows, but both our families have welcomed this relationship very well. You could say both my family and Mew's are exemplary parents. Even though they come from an older generation, they are very open-minded. They probably already knew what their children's identities were. Sometimes they were just waiting to see when you'd introduce your partner. In this modern world, there's more interesting stuff than someone's coming out. As someone in the entertainment industry, when it comes to revealing the relationship, are you worried about the impact? Mew. I think there will be some impact, but whether it's good or not, we're not sure. But everything changes, nothing stays constant. Ultimately, our careers might change anyway, it just depends on which direction it goes. If you ask whether our relationship is more important than work, I think they are equally important and they can coexist. We are at a point where society is ready to accept these things, so I feel we should choose the path of freedom. Hence, we decided to come out because it's the better choice. If we choose to hide it from society or family, it would be suffocating. Or if we hide from society but not from family, we'd still have to sneak around, making not just us but our families and partners uncomfortable. So, let's be open about everything so no one feels uncomfortable. I think this is the healthiest way to maintain a relationship and the best choice for us, though I'm not saying it's the best for everyone. It ultimately depends on each person's life situation. Tell. I respect all decisions. If someone wants to keep it private, that's their choice because there are people who are ready and those who aren't. Being with Mew has made me more courageous to come out. Initially, I thought it wasn't necessary, but Mew said we're both in our 30s, smiles, and we live in a modern world. Plus, we've always supported the LGBTQ+ community in interviews. So, there was no need to keep it hidden. After coming out, everyone was happy to celebrate our love. There was support, encouragement from so many people. Tull, on how this love has changed his life. A lot, and as I mentioned, from now on it's like running a marathon. How do we keep this love healthy over the long distance? It can't be too tight or too loose. We want to find a balanced, sustainable way to keep our love going far. Mew is also a shopping enthusiast, but more into toys. Mew's house is like a museum. He must have collected around 10,000 items. It's like being at Saf and Lek, a famous toy market. I've never seen anyone collect so many toys before. He's been collecting since childhood: Dragon Ball, Digimon, Naruto, Lego, Bearbrick, keeping only the rare ones. Like Sabuabu, Mew collected it years before it became popular. He's truly ahead of his time. Now we plan to build a house together, so I told him to keep only the rare items, and he said everything is rare. Laughs. What do this couple like to do together? Tull. Travel. Recently, traveling has been the main part of our lives. I take care of everything so Mew can enjoy the trip without worrying. He trusts me to handle all the arrangements. I do extra research on the places we visit so when we get there, he can talk about their history. We've traveled to many countries, and there are several places we want to revisit. Being young, we dare to go to risky places because we're confident we can solve problems. We've been to the Uyuni salt flats in Bolivia and Cuba, which many say is very difficult to visit due to language and travel restrictions, but we managed. Mew adds, in Cuba, we encountered many surprises. It felt like we had no control at all. I remember when changing cities, there were no trains, only hitchhiking taxis, which took about 3 hours. Most locals didn't speak English fluently, but we needed their help to get a ride. Suddenly, the driver picked up someone else, and they both got off at a burger shop, and we couldn't communicate in English. We were left puzzled. Laughs. In the end, it was worth it. Cuba has many beautiful places. Such trips require a lot of trust between us. Do you want to defend yourself, Tull? Tull, no. Laughs. When I buy them, I think I'll wear them traveling, but in the end, I'm too lazy to dress up, so I store them away, forget about them, and then have to buy new ones. But luckily, we wear the same size, so we can share? Does traveling help you get to know each other better? Mew, yes, the more challenging the trip, the more we have to solve problems together, which is fun. We get to know each other's true selves better. Tull, something impressive about him from our travels is how easygoing he is, eating anything. In work, Mew is very serious about how things should be, but when it comes to travel, anything goes, even fast food. I, on the other hand, am the type who wants a certain standard when traveling. Laughs. Mew, I'm very laid back in life because I've used up all my seriousness at work. But I admire how Tull plans trips. Traveling together shows he's a great organizer and caring. When we travel with family, he takes excellent care of my parents. In the future, if there's a chance, I'd like to start a tour company. Laughs, because he really has a knack for it. He'd take good care of the tourists.